Hey, how are you?
Hey, Elle, how you doing?
Doing well, doing good, yeah.
Okay.
So what do we have? So news. Let's
Tell
talk
me.
about So let's talk about news. Very important news for when it comes to trademarks, and that's something we've been thinking about for a while. We've been talking about it. Be careful who you choose and how you register your trademark. So you would usually hear me talk about conduct a search before
Let's give this
everything.
a title first.
Yes, the
5,000
big
and
scam,
above
big scam.
trademarks were rejected by the USPTO, and as a following consequence, Amazon refused brand registry
Yes.
and kind of told you, hey, by the way, you're part of this scheme.
Yes.
Deal with it.
Yes. So what happened is the following. We saw two different things. So one, in January, the USPTO canceled, revoked, terminated 5,500 trademark registrations and applications filed by specific companies. These companies, these were websites that help you create a logo, and during your process, they then offer you to apply for a trademark, and they claim to be U.S. attorneys or U.S. companies, while in fact these were companies mostly from Pakistan, and then those clients that they had filed a trademark through them because they trusted them.
Just to clarify, in the USPTO, in order to file for someone else, not talking about filing for yourself, to file for someone else, you have to be a U.S. attorney.
Yes, you have to be a U.S. attorney. Now, if if you're an applicant, if you want to file a trademark, if you're not a U.S. company or a U.S. Individual, you have to use a trademark attorney in the U.S. Okay, so U.S. trademark attorneys. So if you're
Not
a U.S. company,
in the U.S. If licensed in the U.S.
Yes, licensed in the U.S. Now, if you're a U.S. company, if you are a U.S. company, you can file the trademark yourself, and if you're not, you need an attorney. Now, these companies claim to be U.S. attorneys. They filed 5,500 trademarks, and what happened is a series of fraudulent actions. For example, they would tell you have to pay $700 because we're going to file two categories for your trademark, and then you pay for two, but they actually file just one. Okay. And then they send you false documents showing two applications while they only filed one. So
was that because they didn't know what they were doing?
No,
or it was
no.
Intentional?
They intentionally changed documents of the USPTO. Okay, so
forged them?
Yes,
completely?
they forged them. Yes, completely. So imagine you file it. Okay, you pay me, and then I would send you a receipt from the USPTO that I've changed completely. Okay, so that's what they did. So that's one.
That's major.
Two, you ask them to file for specific products, and then they would file for something else on purpose, so that they would receive office actions, objections from the USPTO, and then you would pay to fix the problems. Okay, so there is a list of goods. You ask them to file for specific
So they intentionally did a poor job.
Yes.
So problems will come up.
Yes.
And they will have to fix them.
Exactly. And then office action came when they didn't like the
I don't
office
want to be
action.
in those shoes of the poor sellers.
Yes. And the objections came. And when they didn't like the objections, they changed the objections because they receive all the documents as your representative, your attorney as well. They receive all the documents. So they received it, they changed it, and then they send false documents to their clients. And then one day USPTO finds out, and what they did is they deleted everything. They terminated all the applications. Wow. Now, regarding the registrations, those that were already registered, from what we know, these were left there. They were not canceled. But there is a notice there's like a small notice saying that this is part of it, and it may affect their ability to enforce their trademark in the future. So that's one
Is there
thing.
a way to fix it with the USPTO to remove that warning?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So we saw that, and I'll refer to that. The second thing that we saw is that we receive, so clients, some of our clients, not our clients, but some of the sellers receive notices from Amazon that they cannot obtain the brand registry because of their attorneys. So these were different attorneys, actually not these ones, but apparently other attorneys that were involved in some other fraudulent actions. And the sellers tried to obtain the brand registry. The USPTO didn't issue anything, no notice, nothing. But
So
Amazon
on what grounds does Amazon...
But Amazon did, and apparently Amazon knows something about these attorneys, and they revoked.
Is it an exposed list? That does Amazon provide you with a list of warning? Don't use these attorneys.
No, Amazon does not provide you with a list. The USPTO did provide a list of of these specific firms that I was referring to earlier, and the list exists there. And so these trademarks that they couldn't proceed because of the attorneys, what we did is we transferred them to our law firm, and then they proceeded and they received the brand registry. So these
Happy ending.
Yes, at least that. So what happened in both is that for the first time, the actions of the attorney, not the seller, the actions of the attorney actually affected the outcome of the seller on Amazon. The seller was punished for what the attorney did. So that was the first time.
It's amazing. Why would someone use this? Let's go back to the Pakistani services. Why would someone even use a Pakistani service
for
to
US
register?
trademarks?
Yeah.
So I think that generally, people are not thinking about it too much.
Like
just looking.
Or how do you even get to them?
Yeah, so they look online. They look for the cheapest possible service. They look for for attorneys on Fiverr, and they don't necessarily check. And by the way, all those clients that came to us after something happened with their attorneys, it was actually a group that suggested it was one of the service providers that was suggested in their group. It was a Fiverr lawyer, and I guess one of the members of the group said, I used that, and then everybody used that attorney. It's a matter of cost. The big problem is that those small mistakes, and I'm talking about it a lot, those small mistakes can be crucial later on. So
you mean small mistakes by trying to saving
costs? Yes. So saving costs either by choosing a decent attorney, but also when you file the trademark, how you file it. Many sellers file it themselves, and then they make a mistake by, the way they file it, the way they define it, and they do not get a trademark. And then they want to sell their business, and nobody will buy their business because they don't have a trademark. Or worse, the trademark won't pass. Okay, let's say you filed it, you didn't conduct a proper search. The trademark doesn't pass. We talked about it on our previous episode. You cannot change the brand then later on your listing, and so you're stuck with a listing with a brand that has no trademark, and you cannot enforce. You cannot remove hijackers. Look at our previous episode, and there's nothing really you can do. So add the additional $200 or $300, whatever it is, to get a proper representation. I'm not talking necessarily about our firm. I'm not the pushy type. I'm talking,
I am.
You are.
I believe in what we do. That's where we do it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But I'm talking generally about, serious attorneys that have filed trademark and that have a decent, success rate. Ask about the success rate. People don't ask. You ask when you have a suspension, what's the success? Why don't you ask with trademarks? Very, very important.
You could also check
Online.
the attorney registry to see that they're actually registered in the U.S.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's start with that. You can also check, if you're smart, you can check the success rate and see how many passed, but that's more complicated. I guess. Yes.
Well, there you have it, folks. You get what you pay for.
Yes.
You have been warned. Save where it really is. It makes sense to save. Not when you're establishing your business and everything is going to be built on your trademark and your brand.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Thanks very much. Very informative.
You're welcome.
Very helpful. And thanks for this episode. And we will see you on our next episode next week.
All right.
Thank you.
See you then.